Welcome to the Art of Classiness Podcast, a show where we redefine what it means to be a classy lady. And sometimes it's messy. I'm Robin.
And I'm Deborah, two friends turned classy ladies who are here to discuss life's ups and downs, navigating the complexities of adulthood, and how the gift of friendship is essential to belonging.
Today we're talking about money and how it can make friendship really weird really fast.
From group trips to birthday dinners, we're diving into what happens when one of you is popping champagne and the other's barely scraping by.
So follow along, send us your feedback, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
What's up, classy ladies and gentlemen? Robin, let's check in. How are you?
I am good. I had my birthday.
That's right. Foo, 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 foo. Try to do the blowhorn.
It was a really nice day. The weather was lovely. We went to the farmer's market. Seth took me to a really nice dinner, and Jackie surprised me. I didn't know she was going to be there. And we had a really lovely dinner, and I'm taking a break. My body has caught up to this move, the big transition, like all the work leading up to the move, the act of moving, getting settled here. I have officially hit a wall, and I need to listen to my body and just chill out.
Chill out.
Yesterday, I told Seth I'm not leaving the house today. Even though it's not a big deal to leave the house. Anything we go to do is like 5 to 10 minutes away. But I'm just like,
right.
I'm not leaving.
No. Stake your claim in that house. Unwind.
Yeah.
Get your body back to speed. You know, it's a huge transition to move from one house to another, but moving across the country is a massive deal. So yeah, just be gentle with yourself. Take your own advice, God damn it.
I know. I am. I took a CBD bath last night, and I'm 38 now. I don't feel 38.
Yeah. I don't think we ever feel the age that we are.
Well, some people feel older.
That's true. That's what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel much older. Sometimes, like, there was a period of time that when I had my kids, where I'd be like, man, look at you. You're like a teen mom. You're so young. You're a young woman with these babies on your hips. I was 32. But there was just a period of time, I don't know why, that I was like, I bet people think you're like a teenager. Like I just had the reverse body dysmorphia where I thought I was like young and hot.
That's amazing. Love that.
Yeah, sometimes I still feel that way. Yeah, I just ran with it.
Love that for you. Well, how was your week?
You know, so far so good. Here's where I'm at in terms of my cycle. I cried hard today from just watching clips of the movie My Girl on TikTok.
Oh, that movie, man. I can't watch it.
I mean, someone was like filming their daughter watching it for the first time, and just the emotional roller coaster of that movie, and just so many clips that they were showing were so sweet. Like there's so many sweet moments in that movie that I forgot about or probably just didn't pay attention to when I was a kid. I really want to watch it again after just seeing those clips, but I was unwell this morning, seeing those clips of My Girl. I'm like, okay, you got to get it together. So that's how I'm doing emotionally, but it is a beautiful day. Finally, it's going to be a beautiful weekend. So I'm just looking forward to just getting outside and finally feeling like it's springtime. We've had such a random spring. It's either been hot too early or then it got cold and it was raining for like 5 days. So now I'm just like, finally ready to feel the spring, you know?
She's ready.
I'm ready.
She's ready to bloom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like a beautiful flower.
Yeah, like the girl in My Girl. She matures and develops. That is me through this spring. All right, let's dive into our classy convo this week. We are talking about the unspoken tension of money and friendship and why no one wants to talk about it. What happens when one of you is living that bottomless mimosa brunch and the other is barely making rent? We're going to dive into all the awkward, unspoken rules of managing your friendships while finances are changing within the group.
It's a tough part of life and friendship.
Mm-hmm.
The disparity between our finances. usually in your 20s, you're hanging out with people in the same like socioeconomic group. Like we were all in the service industry once upon a time. But then slowly, as the years go by, people step into their new careers, full-time jobs where they get a regular paycheck. And that's when you really start to feel the difference between then and now. And we all come from different backgrounds. Some of us go into adulthood with assistance from our parents, so it's just easier coming out of college. Some of us had to get student loans. Some of us had to work while we were in college to pay for rent, which that was me. You know, like some people just have a way easier start because of how their parents set them up. And that goes all the way into your 30s. You know, it affects everything.
Yeah. Yes. And you and I both witnessed firsthand some of our friends graduate from server life to full-time W-2 life. And just like watching them leave the uncertainty of, I wonder how much money I'm going to make this week, to them not only like having a salary, but like benefits. Like when we worked at Fido, Obamacare wasn't a thing. So we were just raw dogging life. We were just hoping for the best, that like nothing bad, because I certainly was not paying out of pocket for health insurance. It didn't even cross my mind to do that. So not only do you start to feel disparity from a financial standpoint, but also like a security standpoint, you know, like you start to see people in a different likeness, like, oh, wow, they really have their shit together. And I'm just out here just still trying to make rent every shift. And side note, people don't understand how bad people in the service industry are with money, because a very common practice would be someone coming in towards the end of the month saying, I need to make $150 tonight in order to pay my rent on Monday. And if they didn't make $150, that money was just a wash. It wasn't like, oh, I only made 100, then tomorrow I just have to make 50. It was like, well, this is a free shift. This is my spending money now. I will try again to hit that mark tomorrow.
What?
Yes, I swear. Just, well, only made $80 today. Fuck it. I'm going to spend this at the bar. Tomorrow I'll work really hard to try to make that full 150. I swear to God, it's server math. It's server math. I'm telling you, it's a thing. And so it's like, it's such a wild time. And this isn't just obviously for service industry, but people working entry-level jobs. Like not all full-time jobs pay a lot. Your first job out of college, mine was $19,000 a year.
Oh my gosh. Did that have commissions?
No, I was a production assistant for PBS affiliate.
What year was that?
This was 2005.
Okay.
So with inflation, it's still like below what you could afford to make to live. But, you know, I would have other friends that were like working full-time jobs and they were making $50,000 a year. I was like, what? How are you? They could just buy things and they could go and eat food that just crossed their mind. And I just was making my poverty quesadilla, which was just a tortilla with cheddar cheese and Frank's hot sauce. That would be like my dinner most days of the week during that time. And so it starts off, you can be scrappy because most people are kind of in that boat. But as you start to see people evolve and have access to more things, it can become tricky among your friends.
Yeah, I'm thinking back, like, okay, first of all, I did not have that mentality.
The server math?
About like, well, today's a wash, because I was always worried about money. I remember if I had the day off to go to happy hour, because when your friends start working day jobs, then they get off at a reasonable time and they can go out for beverages and snacks after work. And so if it lined up that I didn't have to work that night and you guys were going out, I was excited to get to do happy hour with you. But at the same time, I was looking like, okay, what is the cheapest thing on this menu?
Mm-hmm.
And is it going to fill me up? I don't know. Maybe we'll get some fries for the table and I could eat some of those. Like, you're just constantly thinking about how I can go and have fun with my friends and not go negative my bank account.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we used to scout out every location that had the best possible happy hour option. There was a Joe's Crab Shack that sold $2 wells during happy hour. And we got in good with the bartender, and she would let us stack up before happy hour ended. So we would be like, can we each get 3 whiskey and Cokes before 7 so that we can,
Oh, wow.
And they would let us do it every once in a while. And we would just, I don't know what the race was for, like why we needed to like pound in that much booze, but it was like, it's cheap. We have to drink it. And we just knew every cheap place and every discount code you could possibly, like, I knew it all.
Yeah.
I could have just abstained like you did. I could have been smarter and been like, nope, guess I can't drink alcohol. Nope, not a chance. I was not going to miss it. I was still going to go out. I just had to make it cheap.
Okay, so it's harder for me to think of exact like moments where like I truly felt broke because there were so many. It all just blends together.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember the feeling of a guilt towards being in debt, towards not having enough money to like go and have fun with my friends. Like it affected me mentally a lot. Like not just the act of being broke, but that I wasn't included in things or couldn't go to certain things or trips because I didn't have the money for it.
Yeah, you can really start to feel isolated, especially if it's one thing when you have like maybe one friend that starts to get ahead, but then when the rest of them catch up and you're still kind of scrapping along, it's really easy to not feel included as much or to even have so much anxiety about hanging out because you're afraid that someone's going to suggest something more expensive or want to split the bill evenly, even though you're trying to like count every dollar that you're spending on the menu. There's a whole other anxiety that comes along with that rift, and a quiet one too, because other things that may happen in your group that could make you feel the same way, such as friends getting married or other life events happening to them that aren't happening to you yet. It's a little bit more acceptable to say, yeah, I'm just, I'm feeling a little left out because everybody has a boyfriend or a girlfriend and I don't. But when it's money, it's so personal and it feels like such a failure to not have money that your friends do, that you kind of don't talk about it as much as maybe other topics that would be really easy to open up about.
It's so true. I remember feeling like, you work with these people, but somehow you still just feel like they have so much more money than you because like they don't have the same kind of debt. They don't have the same kind of bill. So they actually like really do have more money than you.
Right.
And they can spend it more freely. And that's hard in its own way. It's like we're doing the same thing and I am struggling.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember something that happened to me in my early 20s. My best friend was the first of us to get married, and not just the first of us to get married. She was the first to really land a job in her field and then buy a house. And then they were getting married. Like all these big life events happened to her like really early on, and she deserved every part of it. And I could not have been like further away from any of those things. And I went to visit her before they got married, and we had gotten takeout. And you know how some restaurants give you the good takeout containers, like with the hard
Yeah,
lid?
like the sturdy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was like 3 or 4 of them, and I was helping out washing dishes, and I was like, oh, do you want to keep these? Put them in the dry rack? And she's like, no, you can toss them in recycling. I was like, these are good takeout Tupperwares. And she's like, I have Tupperware. And she had like a whole matching set of the nice Tupperware. And I was like, what do you mean you are not keeping the nice takeout Tupperware? Like, this is how I attain Tupperware, is that I take it from restaurants. And in that moment, I was like, oh, she has her shit together and you are poor. And she doesn't need free shit from a restaurant. And you steal things from restaurants because you can't afford anything.
I was, 35 when I stopped saving those containers.
I still do. I have a whole section of my cabinet that is those kinds of containers. They're good containers.
The only reason I don't now is because I've gone all glass. But yeah, it's a good container.
They're good containers.
You could put stuff in it to take to a party and then you leave it there. You don't have to be worried about taking it home with you.
Exactly. I'll send my kids to school with them. I will use it sometimes as like a portable dog bowl. Like they're great. They're
Yes. Yes. It's good functionality. Good functionality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Your story reminded me of something that happened recently. When I bought my house in 2018, I was broke as all get out. I was renting my guest room out on Airbnb and working multiple jobs to pay that mortgage. Okay, obviously things have changed since then. I'm with Seth. I'm married. He has a very nice income, and I've adapted to a new way of living, right? When we were preparing to move and we were getting a bunch of stuff on Amazon, either for the move, for the house or whatever, and a couple of the boxes were really big. And I was like, oh, we should keep that for packing. And he's like, no. I was like, what do you mean no? We'll get boxes later. And I was just like, why did you pay for boxes?
I knew exactly what you were going to say.
The only place I get boxes for moving is the recycling dumpster at Target. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, why would you spend money on something you can get for free? And that's when I realized, oh, I still have a broke person mindset.
Oh, I still have in my furnace room in the basement all of the boxes from this move, even though half of them the kids have played as a fort object for 2 years now that they're like, I'll never be able to use them again. But I'm like, but just in case, is this a pretty good box?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to hang on to the good boxes.
I'm
not buying more.
And a couple of things happened like that during the move. I was just like, oh, wow. There's just certain things that I never thought to do a different way. Like, we'll just pay someone to move our stuff.
Yeah.
You mean invite our friends over and provide a pizza?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, yes to all of that. You know, it is my one gratitude about the financial hardships I've had in my life is it gives you a set of tools that will never leave you and will always serve you.
It's true.
Right. So having that like, oh, hold on, we can get this for free, I think is always just a good trait to have, but can present itself in really funny ways, like with your move or with me and like my friend in the Tupperware. Like in those moments, you just kind of have this realization of like, oh, we are not the same. So when you're in a friend group where that starts to become a little bit more of an apparent reality and someone is totally fine with ordering every appetizer on the menu to share because they're fine with just splitting the check and they don't really care. They don't even need to look at the bill before they give the waitress the card. So how do you deal when life doesn't go according to this like fantasy budget that you had in your head of what being an adult would look like? Let's dig into some of those details. The reality of splitting the check when friends have totally different financial situations.
This one is always, it's so terrifying, especially when like someone else picks the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I was always looking at the menu in advance.
Every time.
Planning on what I was going to order, knowing like how much I was going to spend. And you bet your ass if we get to the end of that meal and someone's like, are we cool with splitting it? My heart is sinking into a pit of despair.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm embarrassed.
Yes.
Like, oh, how luxurious. You can just willy-nilly throw your credit card down.
Yes. I think this is where finances can really become very obvious within a group of friends because going out to a restaurant or even to like a birthday getaway, everybody has like a dollar sign in their head of what they want to spend, or some people don't even have a number in their head at all, which God bless those people. And I think splitting the check is just always like, oh, God, so first of all, some people just have no self-awareness.
It's true.
You know, some people have no self-awareness. Like, in my opinion, if you are the one, and I do feel like our friends are really good about this, if someone is like, we have to try this appetizer, we're going to order it for the table, I feel like that person is usually good about being like, I'll take the focaccia bread because I'm the one that said we had to eat it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or if they're the ones that, you know, wanted to get one more fancy drink than everyone else's, they might be like, oh, I'll take care of the tip because I know that I ordered more to drink than everyone else. But people who don't have that social awareness, it's like so mind-boggling to me. What do you do when someone doesn't have that awareness and pulls like the last minute Venmo request, or they just never seem to know like the right time to split the bill versus not splitting the bill? Like, what are some ways, if you are the person that can't really afford it, to set some boundaries with your spending?
I personally like the upfront approach. We could use gift splitting for an example. When someone suggests like going in on a gift, but their idea is a little different than yours, like they want to buy something that requires like $50 a person, you were thinking like $10 a person. And I think the best way to approach that is to just say it up front. Like, yeah, I'd love to go in on a gift, but I want to be up front. My budget's a little tight, and this is what I have to spend right now.
Yeah.
And they're either okay with that or they're not. They can buy their own gift for the friend.
Right.
We don't have to go in on it together. And it avoids misunderstandings. It avoids the awkwardness. Like, just be direct. This is what I can do right now.
Right.
It's matter of fact. And there's no shame in that.
Especially if you're the first one to give a price point.
Yep.
You know,
be the first.
If you're the first one to be like, sounds good. Everyone cool with $10? We all good with 10?
Yeah.
Like, just setting that number first before somebody just like runs away with it. And then you have to remove yourself from the gift because you're like, nope, I'm not putting in $100, but you guys have fun. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. And like, even still, if, we're sending someone a bouquet of flowers and I text the group, I tell them in advance, this is how much it'll cost per person if all of us go in on it. Is everyone okay with that?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And usually they are, because I never go over $30 per person, first of all. But
yeah, set those expectations and just be upfront about it. Another option, and I would love to have the balls and lack of people pleasing to say this. Sometimes you just got to say thanks, but no thanks. Hey, sounds fun. My budget's a little tight right now, so I won't be able to make that dinner. I won't be able to contribute to the gift, or I won't be able to meet you guys out. But have fun. I'll catch you next time. I've been around people who have done that, and I feel so much respect for them for setting and stating their financial boundaries. Like, I truly do.
It's always very impressive.
It is. It really is.
Because I do not.
I know. I'm like, sure, I'll just put it on my credit card and figure this out later. Like, that is so hard. So you might be worried that you are going to come off as looking like poor or cheap. And you might be worried that that's going to open up a bigger conversation around like, what's going on? Or, do you need help? And all those awkward things. But you should know that there are people like Robin and I, they're like, hell yeah, stand your ground.
Yeah.
Say no to things. Good for you.
And you could say no, but, I can't do that, but I would love to spend some time with you. How about we do something low key instead?
Right.
You don't have to cancel plans just because you can't be spending money.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't have to be a shut-in. You can pivot. You can change the plans. You can offer a more affordable solution, but you do not have to say yes to something that you can't afford. And I think that's the biggest takeaway.
Yeah. Another approach is planning ahead.
Mm-hmm.
If a friend reaches out to you about going to a fancy restaurant that they've been wanting to try, you could say something like, that sounds awesome, but it's a little more than what I can do right now. Can we plan for next month so that I can budget for it? Because you don't want to go to a nice restaurant and then not be able to order what you want to order.
Right. Get ahead of it and figure out something that is going to be more in your budget. And this might not be the best scene to reference because of the outcome, but I will always think of that scene in Bridesmaids where for like the bridal shower day, she takes them to like that weird Brazilian steakhouse. And then obviously they all end up getting food poisoning. But just there's a line where she's like, Annie always knows like the best like hidden gems in town. Cause like, she's done this before. She's taken her friends to the dive bar, to a cheap taco truck, to, a mom and pop burger joint because she doesn't have any money. And so like she still wanted to show up and have a fun experience for her friend. And it unfortunately turned out to be food poisoning by accident. But I loved that scene because she was taking control of the situation and trying to manage what she could afford so that the finances of being a bridesmaid would not run away from her.
But it did.
But it did.
And all that to say, don't wait until it gets to this point. Like, if you're really stressed about it, take control of the situation and set the scene yourself. Plan a spa night, invite your girlfriends over for a movie, host a potluck where everybody brings their own dishes and you just provide the chips and dip. Like, bring people to you, have the ideas.
Right.
Don't wait around to be invited somewhere that is going to be out of budget.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Get ahead, be the first one to talk, be the first one to give a price point, set the stage, control what you can control, and then you will still feel included, but you won't feel financially drained.
Yeah. And I feel like oftentimes those are the best memories.
Most definitely. I mean, how many times have we talked about on this podcast that our preference has now just become getting takeout and sitting around and talking and eating and drinking and laughing and chatting,
which is what you do at a restaurant. Just do it in cozy clothes.
Which is what you do. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We've cracked the code.
We cracked it, guys. Stay home. The end. So, talking about money up front might feel awkward, but it is so much less awkward than dealing with that sinking feeling when the Venmo request comes in or the bill arrives and you know that you literally cannot pay for what is being asked of you.
Now let's talk about what happens when money isn't the only thing you're tapped out on. Sometimes it's not the money, it's the emotional cost of keeping up, and that can feel just as draining.
Yeah. Here's what's funny is you're not just broke in your 20s, you guys. Life catches up with you real fucking quick. And we're having this conversation and we're talking about it in a nostalgic way. I currently am feeling a lot of these financial anxieties, having to excuse myself from different events, like not going out as much. I am on a razor thin budget right now. And I know it's temporary because money comes and goes. But if I was living in Austin right now, sometimes I feel like it would be easier because we do so much hanging out just at houses. Other times I feel like it would be harder because I would be around friends that are maybe wanting to do fun things and going out or wanting to plan trips, and I wouldn't be able to go on them. You know what I mean? So It's challenging. It can really take its toll when all of a sudden life catches up with you or life happens to you and you were able to do all these fun things. You were able to plan these fun trips. And now all of a sudden you're like, whoop, I actually can't do these things anymore. And you guys get to enjoy all this fun stuff. So for me, those financial insecurities don't just end in your 20s for a lot of people. They can come and go through different periods of your life as well.
So true. I think at this point in our lives, we can comment from both sides of the coin, right? Money does come and go.
Yeah.
It ebbs and flows. I remember feeling rich in college and I spent all of my student loans on a trip to Europe. Guys, guess what? It's not free money.
It's not.
But when you are on the other side, when you do have the financial means to go out and have more fun, it's important to remember that maybe some of your friends haven't caught up yet, and being conscious of that and asking them in advance, what can you afford right now, emotionally and financially? What do you want to do to where we can have a good time and you're not stressed about the money that you're spending?
Yeah, I think if you have really rich and honest friendships, you are going to have somebody in your group that can say that to you without you feeling judged or attacked, and you have to be open to receive it because, hey, I get it. When you are financially insecure, you are like a caged animal backed into a corner. You are just literally in survival mode. Sometimes it is very hard to receive nice things from other people because everything just makes you feel like a failure. So if you're in that position, you need to open your heart to your friends that genuinely care about you, and genuinely want you included and want to make it work for you. Sometimes you just have to take your ego and set it aside, because it would be really easy to just say, no, just go. I don't want to be a hassle. Like, you guys will have more fun without me. I'm not going to be able to do anything. Like, there's no reason to add suffering to suffering. So be kind to yourself. Know that these times are probably going to be temporary. And if someone is offering you an easier way or wants to do something in a more inclusive way, let them. Just let them, you know?
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I think that's a fantastic approach. You know, we talk about this a lot. Your friends are your chosen family.
Mm-hmm.
And if your friends can see that you're struggling and they have the means to help you have a great day, and they want to because they just want to hang out with you and enjoy your time together, like Deborah said, let them.
Mm-hmm.
Let them bring you joy. Just because you're broke doesn't mean you need to be broke and miserable.
Right.
You don't even have to say, I'll get you back, because you know you'll get them back, and they know you'll get them back. It's not about the money in that sense.
Right. And I have had to open myself up to the kindness of my friends and family over this past year. You know, I am not ashamed to say it. Robin had a beautiful gesture of having groceries DoorDash to my house because I was really stressed that month. And I could have afforded groceries that month. Like, you guys, I'm fine. Okay. But Robin knew that was just something she could do to lighten my load. And I did have a moment where I just wanted to hang my head in shame for like even talking about how financially anxious I was. But I'm really, really grateful to have a friend like Robin that was like, here's one thing I can do that is just going to alleviate just a little bit of stress from your life. And Robin knows I'll always be there for, I'll always be there for you, and that it all comes back around. But I could have been that person backed in a corner saying, who do you think you are? Just stay out of my business. This has nothing to do with you. Because we know people like that. We know people that don't want to accept kindness when they're in a state of duress. So don't be that latter person, because you just don't need to make your own situation worse. Accept the help that people are trying to give you, you know?
Yeah. And I understand the prideful side of things about it. I completely get that. But the people who end up being aggressive and mean in reaction to the kindness, it makes me wonder, like, why are you letting your shame affect how you're talking to your friend right now that's trying to help you? There are people out there who will accept your help, take as much as they can from you, and they do not care. They will bleed you dry.
Yeah.
And they're fine.
Right.
They have no problem freeloading off of life. You know, like, if you're the friend that never asks for anything and then you have somebody offering you something, like, there's no shame in taking it.
Right.
Especially if you're grateful for it, especially if you know you're going to turn around and show that person how appreciative you are of that.
Yeah, and use it as fuel. Use it as fuel, because I had to have a mindset shift where instead of feeling bad about myself, I had to say, look at how many people are rooting for you. Look at how many people are investing in your success by all these small acts of kindness that you are receiving right now. Don't feel ashamed. Feel proud that they are investing in you, that they are willing to give you their time, attention, and sometimes money, because that's how much they believe that you are going to come out of this. And that is a mindset shift that takes work, but it can be a total game changer for how you perceive your own situation.
It's also a reminder that you're not alone in this. Even if you're the only one that's struggling in that way right now, like, you're not alone. None of your friends are going to let you drown. And that is actually a positive thing.
Yeah. You have life rafts around you. That's the best feeling in the world. And you have to see them as life rafts,
Yeah.
Because in addition to changing your mindset from, oh my God, these people are pitying me, to, oh my God, these people believe in me, it's also going to open your heart up more to cheer them on when they get continued success, right? Because that can be really awkward too. Like when you're sitting here struggling and someone gets a big, huge promotion, it's really easy for your ego-driven brain to be like, how come that's not happening to me? But if you change your mindset of being like, I'm so proud of my friend, and that friend is still sticking by me, and they have a high opinion of me, and all these good things are happening to them, and that person is in my corner too. Like, how awesome is that? Like, that is a better mindset than like, how come good things never happen to me?
Yeah. Well, and those are kinds of friends that you want, the ones that lift you up, the ones that are going to grow with you or bring you up to where they are. And sometimes you might switch places. You might be that person bringing the same person up who lifted you up during a difficult time. And I think that's important to remember when whoever is doing better has good news to share in general, like whether it's a raise, promotion, engagement, without feeling like you're bragging. I would hate that. I would hate for my friend, something good to happen to my friend and then be afraid to talk to me about it because of how I would react.
Yeah.
Icky. I feel icky.
Yeah. I don't want to be the reason for someone to be worried about sharing their good news. So, sometimes you just have to give out good vibes to receive those good vibes. Like I really feel I'm starting to learn and believe more about the laws of attraction, and you being jealous of someone else's success does not give you any more opportunities to be successful, right? Someone else getting a job in a field that you are not even in is not a threat to you in your existence. So make sure that you are not letting your own temporary situation make a negative permanent impact on friends who are willing to rally around you in these times of need.
Yeah. And even when you are feeling the pressure to keep up, you still have that freedom to say no. You have that freedom to step back. It's okay to suggest something more low-key. It's okay to be honest about why. But what about redefining what it means to be rich in friendship? Friendship is less about what you spend and more about how you show up. Okay? I want to use our trip to Montreal as an example. That was a trip that we made work for everyone's finances.
Yeah.
And we had one fancy dinner. We did activities during the day that didn't cost any money. And we went to the grocery store and ate and drank at the apartment. Like, I don't know. I feel like that was first class in its own way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And there are things that can be the equalizer across all socioeconomic backgrounds and lines. You can still go out and engage and have a good time that's going to fit everybody's budget. And sometimes you can even present it in a fun way that will get people on board because it's low cost. Like one idea that we had was a $5 day, right? Plan a low cost, high fun day where you set a very, very low budget. And then it becomes kind of a challenge to make that work. Like, what can we do so we can stay under this arbitrary budget, a budget that's far lower than you need it to be? But this could be a fun day of going thrift store shopping, maybe packing lunch for a picnic, doing a dollar store gift exchange. Like that can be its own hilarious and fun day that is not even going to come close to breaking the bank.
Yeah. It's funny you said $5 and I was like, well, I can't even get a latte for $5.
Make it at home.
Exactly. That just means I'm going to have to find a different way to have coffee if I want to drink it with my friend. And it makes everything more of an adventure. You have to get creative. Like you said about reframing how the way you think, memories over money might be a nice little mantra. You don't need to spend money to make memories.
Memories are free.
Yeah.
Honestly, I started following a creator on TikTok called Bradley on a Budget, and this has got to be the most frugal person I've ever seen in my life. Now, he is trying to pay off a mountain of a college debt. He went to like a culinary school, which was a total bust, and he never ended up making any money working in the food service industry. So he lives in like a small studio apartment. He has one towel, one bowl. He like takes takeout silverware, takes toilet paper from restaurants, like literally does not spend any money at all. He's only on special occasions will he get food with friends, like out and about. And even then he always like looks at the menu ahead of time to make sure he can like buy the cheapest thing or like get something that he can like eat the next day to like make it worth it. But one thing he does for his birthday is he looked up every single free thing in town that you can get on your birthday. Like at one of the theaters, you can get a free tub of popcorn, or a donut shop will give you like a free donut, or just things like that. And he went all across town and was like, it's my birthday, I'm here for my free donut. Like, no shame. Went to the movie theater and got popcorn and didn't even go to a movie, just got the popcorn and then left. You know, or like he gets a gift card, like, hey, a free coffee on us. He's like, oh, let's get the free coffee. Like, just had the whole day of getting all the free things on your birthday. And that could be a really fun thing to do if you're in that situation, but like bring a friend with you, you know, and maybe you can share in some of these free things.
Yeah.
And then again, it's like kind of an adventure. It's like a unique thing to do, but you also don't have to spend any money because like we just overspend. And a lot of times we're just buying shit we don't need. We're way overpaying at restaurants for things we know we can make at home. It's not even just about if you have enough money. Sometimes you're just like, is this actually worth the money that I've worked hard for me to spend on? And so when the focus is memories over money, then all of a sudden it just opens up the possibilities of what you can do and how you can spend your time.
Yeah. I thought about doing that on my birthday the other day because I got a couple emails, like a free coffee at Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
And had I been in Austin, I might have used a lot of those free birthday gifts, but in Bend, it's harder to find that. But I remembered talking about going to pick up free whatever for your birthday when I was 20. I didn't make any plans for my birthday. I don't know. I was being a depressed 20-year-old. And my roommate was like, we're going to float the river, which is a thing we do in Texas, in San Marcos and New Braunfels. Come with us. It'll be like a great birthday. And I was like, okay. So we went to Freebird's for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And I just told them like, it's my birthday. They gave me a free burrito.
Yes.
Yeah. And that like at 20 years old, oh my God, I was talking about it all day. They gave me free burrito.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh,
love that.
Dude, there is something hit different with free food back then.
Yeah. Getting free shit is always a hit of dopamine. Literally this week, I got 2 $20 off gift cards because for some reason, Bravo Italian Restaurant not only thought it was my birthday, but thinks I am Dr. Cameron Andrews.
Oh.
And they sent me a letter, or not a letter, but I got mail that was like, happy birthday, Cameron. And it was 2 $20 off cards if you spent $40. So I was like, hell yeah, you know where we're going tonight? And we're not spending a dime over $40. We are finding a way to just get 50% off this meal. So yeah, to me, I love it. I love free shit. I love discounts. I'm the most frugal person. That will never go away, no matter how much money I end up making. That is always going to be a part of me. So for me, I've always had the mentality of memories over money because you can't take it with you, you know? So you might as well just create the best experiences that you can because things come and go.
It's true. And when I think back to like my most memorable moments with my friends, I don't know how many drinks were had. I don't know the meal that was eaten. I just remember the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I mean, sometimes I remember the meals if they're really good. I'll think about them.
Of course. Of course. I mean, we're foodies. We're going to remember our meals. I just mean...
Yeah, of course.
Maybe I didn't phrase that the best way.
No.
I'm sorry, food. Please forgive me. I remember you.
Yes, of course. So friendship is less about what you spend and more about how you show up. At the end of the day, just remember that money will always come and go. And your family and friends are going to be the constants in your life. So as you ebb and flow through different statuses, different abilities to buy things or go places, it's the people around you that count the most.
Exactly. So don't get too hung up on your own shit, or don't feel bad if you're making far more than your friends. What matters is being there for each other and finding fun and exciting ways to spend your time together.
Okay, now it is time for our class act of the week. Each week, Robin and I take turns recognizing a person, sometimes a parasocial relationship, or just something that happened that we thought was classy. And this week, it's Robin's turn. So Robin, what's your class act of the week?
I want to give a massive shout out to some real MVPs in our life. Moving is chaotic, it's stressful, it's exhausting. And that's even in the same town. You throw in moving across the country, so many curveballs. And we had so many friends and family members who came in clutch in big and small ways, whether it was helping us pack, getting the house ready for renting, taking things off of our hands like perishable foods, plants, planters that we couldn't bring with us, or just showing up with a kind smile. It all made such a difference, including the friends who threw us a farewell party, which we weren't even expecting, our amazing neighbor who helped us with a leak in our house after we left, my amazing co-host Deborah, who made extra time out of her week to record podcasts in advance to assist with the time we needed to move across the country. I was just so grateful to all of our friends and family who showed us love and are continuing to show us love. We're just so grateful for all of you being there and reminding us that even in the middle of a chaotic move, like, we're surrounded by the best kinds of friends, the ones who show up, the ones that pitch in and help turn a stressful situation into one filled with love and generosity. And you are all class acts, and I feel so grateful to have you in my life.
Oh, well, I did the very least, but I appreciate the small shout out. I totally understand how stressful it is, and it really is such a time to cherish people who help you out. So that's great. I'm glad you got this chance to say thank you to all of them.
Yeah.
All right, let's land this plane with our final segment, our class or crass. This one is a little bit on theme for money and friends as a topic. So let's get into it. You ready, Robin?
I'm ready.
Your friend casually mentions that she can't cover rent this month. You're tempted to slide her $100 on Venmo without asking first. Is it thoughtful to support or overstepping boundaries?
Ooh, well, first of all, I would say it does depend on the relationship with a friend. Like, how close are you?
Mm-hmm.
In that way, if you're not close, it is overstepping. But if it's a bestie, like if it's one of the classy ladies and you know that you are in a financially stable position to where you won't miss this money, you don't expect them to pay you back, and you truly just want to provide some relief to that friend, I think that's classy.
I think so too. And I think the classy thing is to just send it without saying anything, because the pre-conversation of, can I give you some money? You know, if you ever need anything, don't be afraid to ask. You know, of course, you know, I'd always be here to help you out. I'm sorry, but that shit is so fucking embarrassing when someone says that to you. I have been the recipient of people saying that to me, and it's just like, on one hand, the benefit is like nothing lights a fire under my ass more than someone getting to the point where they think that writing me a check is something that I want to receive. So the preamble is unnecessary. I think if you're a really good friend, if you're close enough, just here you go. Don't even worry about it. But it comes with some caveats. First, never loan money that you can't afford to receive back, because expecting someone to pay you back can create a lot of tension in friendships, right?
Yeah.
So I think the classy way to do it is to just send them the money without the preamble of asking them if they need it, or, hey, if you ever need something from me. Like, don't put someone in that position. I think just sliding it across the table, the virtual table that is Venmo, and just saying, I got you, and calling it a day, I think is a classy way. I have been the recipient of such a kind gesture, I have also done this to people that I know, or that I knew that they were having a hard time. They never explicitly asked for money, but I knew it was like one thing I could do. And it was always under the expectation that I would never see that money again, which is fine. You know, I would never do it if I thought, well, but they'll pay me back. Or if I was going to passive aggressively hold it over their heads in a future fight. If those two things are possibilities, don't even think about sending them the money. They'll figure it out, right? But if you can, out of the kindness of your heart, just give them money that you're fine with parting ways with forever, I think it's classy. And I say that as someone that this has happened to in the past, you know, and it felt good. I felt loved. And I, of course, did my best to pay that person back, but that was just my thing. But I thought it was a way that I felt cared for in that moment.
Venmo is probably one of my favorite digital inventions for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Venmo, Cash App, whatever. Like, it makes it so easy to do that kindness without making it a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a conversation after, but it's like, here, I want you to have this. I want to take the load off. I want you to pay your rent this month because I love you. I care about you. I want you to have a roof over your head.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, I hear you're struggling. I want to help. How much do you need? What do you need? And it's like, oh, well, when you put it like that, I don't need anything from you.
Yeah.
I can take care of myself. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anyone with any level of dignity, it's going to be weird about you just saying, how much do you need? Right?
It's so cold. It's so impersonal. It's so presumptuous. Like, do not put somebody in that position to tell you $1,500, please. Like, no.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
That's the other thing. Like, you're opening up a bag of who fucking knows when you just leave it blank like that. What do you need? And then they say something that you actually can't give. That makes a whole other awkward situation.
Yeah. I think there's a few ways you can go about it. One is just sending them, you know, a bit of cash without saying anything. The other is maybe learning information. Like, if they're like, I don't know what to do. My utility bill is $300 this month and it's like $200 more than I was budgeting for. I'm like freaking out. Now you know in your head, $300 is making the difference to this person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Gather some more information.
Like, I know phone bills are around $100 a month. So that I could just put like phone bill, or just one simple thing that you know is just going to alleviate that stress. I also think is maybe a classy way. I would stay away from asking them how much they need, or even if they need help at all, because then you get into that really gray area that taps into people's shame and embarrassment about their finances.
You're right. You're so right. It's a really touchy subject. You got to learn the dance.
Yeah, you got to know that your friend's in a place to receive it. So if you feel that they are in a place to receive it without feeling guilt and shame, I say do it. If you have a hyper defensive friend that always wants to do it themselves and never accepts help from other people, maybe think twice. A lot of times that attitude's just a front and they're begging for help.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Yeah. So I declare it classy. When done correctly, I think you can make it a classy Cash App transaction.
A classy cashy.
A cashy. A classy cashy.
A classy cashy exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Should we make a new digital app?
Class or cash. That's it for today's episode. Whether you're flush, frugal, or somewhere in between, we hope this one made you feel a little less alone.
Money might change, but the friendship doesn't have to. We want to hear from you. How do you keep your friendships rich without going broke? Send us your stories or class or craft scenarios at artofclassiness@gmail.com.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Art of Classiness. Leave a review if you love this episode. It really helps.
Thanks for hanging with us. And remember, classy is a state of mind.
So mind your classiness.
Bye.